Have you ever wanted to do a really bright, colourful picture on a dark black canvas? Well, it's super easy. We've got a 20-inch canvas here. It's been primed in black acrylic paint. That's super easy to do. Once that's dry, just mask off a little bit of a border with some masking tape. And on top of that, we've hit it with some different colours. Transparent colours because they look black on the canvas. However, when you see them on the masking tape, they're pretty colourful. So we've got phthalo blue right up at the top, and then we go down into magenta. Underneath just above the horizon line, we've got another little bit of phthalo blue, which will make a nice little purpley colour when we hit it with the white. This horizon line will remove halfway through the composition, and underneath that we've got Veridian. Now you could use phthalo green if you've got phthalo green, okay? Underneath this part of the border, we have got Indian yellow. So what I've done is ploughed it all on, and I'm just wiping it all off. And what's on there is just right for what we want for this wet on wet painting. So let's get some titanium white and make a beautiful coloured painting. But before I do, hit that like button and subscribe. Happy days. Okay, a little bit of titanium white on a very small brush, and we're going to put a little bit of a lightning bolt. Okay, and that's going to come right the way down there. Just like so. Okay, that's all we want for the lightning. Okay, take some more of that titanium white, easy for me to say, and we're just gonna put in a little bit of cloudy action. Okay, so in fact we might just make that a little bit bigger there. Okay, and then just throw some of this in. Now you want small little doofy-doos close to the horizon. Okay, and let's grab a bit more paint, and larger ones as we get up there. Go over the masking tape, it's no problem at all. That's going to become one of the key features, is this masking tape. If you pick up too much colour when you're obviously putting the paint on the canvas, the white paint on the canvas, just give it a bit of a wipe on a lint-free tissue and reload. Okay, it's not a good thing to take the blue into at this stage, the blue into the magenta. Okay, it's very strong is the blue. Okay, but we're just going to put a few highlighted clouds. We want a lot of white as well, just about there where the bolt comes through. But this will all come apparent when we get it going. Okay, a few little scrimps and scrapes down there. Nothing too strenuous. How easy was that? How easy was that? Okay, I think we're going to have a big tree that comes across here. Those who've painted with me before will understand why. And we'll have a bit of a sea or something like that. So let's just set that brush down and pick up a blender brush. Okay, nothing too expensive here. Just a normal little blender, and I'm just going to tease. Now I tease down there, and we get a lovely little aura, or I don't know, a little bit of a glow from the lightning. And you've got to use a very gentle brush. This is almost like a makeup brush, really. And we go across, and you can see it changing colour. Get my hand out of the way. You can see that changing colour. We've gone from a purpley blue right to the magenta, and if we keep going up, we'll go into the deeper blues up at the top. Okay, so just go across the whole thing until this is fully blended out. Go over the masking tape and blend the whole thing. No problemo, no problemo. And of course, it's a nighttime scene, or it's a very dark scene. So, and it's obviously stormy because we've got the lightning. So, the movement in the clouds will add to that, and the wet appearance of the clouds, that makes sense, will mean that it's kind of a damp atmosphere. It's wet, it's stormy. Okay, and that's what we're trying to affect here. That's the effect that we're going through. Okay, so just keep going like that until you've blended it out. Now you may need to, and I'll just take the brush again, make sure it's wiped out clean. A bit more white, titanium white, and just put a bit more there. I want a real zinger of a white patch just there. Okay, and then just very gently breeze across that. Hardly any pressure at all. Just trying to set that into the composition. You may need to do that a couple of times until you get the desired sky that you want. There we go. I think that's a sky done very gently over some of those accent highlights in the clouds. Now let's work on this lightning bolt. So a very thinned out white paint, so liquid white perhaps, magic white, whatever you've got, on your thinnest little liner brush. Okay, now I'm just going to start there and I'm just going to pull it down, and I've got a nervous twitch in my hands. Okay, it's just something that I developed while working with power tools. Okay, and that works well in this sort of composition. Okay, so if you've got a nervous twitch, lightning, twigs, sticks, things like that are for you. Now you can see that I'm constantly reloading the brush, because it's still, even though it's a thin layer of paint that's on the canvas, it does pick up some of that colour, and I want it to remain as pure as I possibly can. So what I do is I just wipe the brush on the palette there. I wipe the brush on the palette and then pick up some more paint. I'll take a step back in a second and have a judge, see if it's fit for what we're after. Maybe there's another little bit of a fork coming off there, like that, and that's as lightning done. How easy was that? That's super duper easy. We don't have to do anything more than that. Now I'm going to take a step back, make sure everything looks okay before we remove the masking tape. So for me, this lightning looks pretty much done. So, and if you're not happy with it, just blend it out and start again. That's super duper easy to do. Now, obviously I put this layer of masking tape on after I put the border on, so we don't take the border off, get rid of the masking tape. Pick up the brush that's got the Veridian on, and I'm just gonna go all the way up to the horizon line with this Veridian mix. Now if you go into the sky, don't beat yourself to death about it. It happens, waves move, just take your time just there, and then just move on like so. There we go, just get rid of that brush. Now we've got the whole sea area in place. Let's grab the brush which had the white on it. Okay, now we need to sculpt out a nice area for the wave. Now I don't want it directly underneath there, but not too far away, so we'll go something like that. Okay, and it'll come crashing down. You can see the greens coming through there. Okay, wipe off any excess on another paper towel. I've got several paper towels lying around. I'm going to pick up a touch of that Indian yellow and white mix. Okay, Indian yellow and white, and I'm just going to scrub this in. A good firm brush is what you need, proper oil painting brush, and just push that in there. Okay, and just push it about, and we'll come across there, and of course we want it over the masking tape border. Just push that in, wipe off any excess, because you'll have picked up a fair old amount of green in that, and then maybe a bit more of the white. This is highlighted by the lightning, that's a source, so just push that into the canvas, and look how colour just jumps off these dark canvases. It's so beautiful. And again, just push it along, push it along, push it along. There, like that. Okay, so once we've got this in place, let's go back to our blender brush. I haven't cleaned it, because once you clean these things, you can never get them dry. Anyway, we're just gonna tease this and just form the shape of the wave and bring it down into that Veridian or phthalo green or whatever colour you want to go for. You don't have to stick to the colours that I've got on the canvas. I just want to show you how I paint this. There, like so. Just pull it down. And of course, the brightest spot wants to be in the eye of the wave, just there. So we'll concentrate more on that and more mixing as we come away from the eye of the wave, just like that there, like that. But think of a wave, it curls up and goes over. We'll have it crashing up here. Okay, so we'll just pull it down like that. Once you're happy with that, which that wasn't too hard to do, okay, grab that same brush, make sure you've wiped it out nice and clean, grab some more titanium white, and we'll think of something all the way across there, like that. Okay, and we'll do another one, and I'm just pushing on, roll the brush around, get some jiggly things going, and happy days. Yeah, happy days. Bit over there, nice and delicate as we get towards the horizon. Let's put a bit more white paint on there, folks. There, like that. We want some real bright sparks right underneath that lightning bolt. Now take a fan brush. Now I'm going to start off up here, and a fan brush ideally is nice and curvy, you know, so that helps us out a little bit. And we're going to try and create the troughs of the waves, but don't kill all the dark part of the wave, okay? Just don't do it. You know, you'll end up with a white canvas again. And if you do, you just have to start painting again. And again, think of the wave as it crashes, as it churns, as it goes along. And I'm coming up there like that, and I'm taking that light almost into the dark. Okay, on the palette knife as well, just right, a little bit of titanium white, just right where the lightning is. I'm just gonna put in a few little reflections of the lightning, but it's just sparkling up the sea just there, like so. Now again, I'll double check this, and I tell you guys as well, take a step back every now and again, because you just don't want to be painting nose to canvas constantly. Be careful, I've nearly got something on my nose then. I'll put something there like that, and maybe it comes off there like so. Okay, just get rid of that. Back to the fan brush, flan. You know what I'm trying to say, folks. And we can just start teasing this back. So just grab the top and pull it back, but again, don't kill the dark part, don't kill the darkness in there, but work on the shape of the wave. And you can see it gets narrower here, so it's about 1 inch there, about 3 inch there, so that works on perspective as well. Any excess paint that we picked up on the brush, and go into some titanium white, and let's carve out where this major wave is going to crash there, like that, just like that. And that is possibly where we'll leave that. We don't want to keep overdoing this, or else it'll just blend all into mush, and we don't want to make mush now, do we? Okay, wipe that off, and I'm just going to grab a little bit more titanium white. Virtually all this is just titanium white at the moment, apart from a little bit of Indian yellow that we've added down in to the major wave there. I'm just going to tap on a little bit more titanium white up there and around, just like so. Grab a bit more white, and again over the masking tape we go, and just push up. This is crashing titanium white, and it's smashing against whatever's there. We can't see it because it's behind the border. And again, a bit of stuff under there as well, and maybe it comes up there like so. And the great thing about using a fan brush for this is that you can actually arc it back in on itself, so it's basically forcing your eye back into the center of the painting, and that's exactly what we're after. Okay, there. And of course, I've got all these colors on the canvas, so that instantly makes shadows as well as your highlights all in one fell swoop, which is pretty neat, pretty sneaky. Yeah, I like it. So let's grab some magenta and phthalo blue, proportionally much more magenta. Now, if you haven't got magenta, use a little bit of alizarin crimson. Okay, now let's just start adding a little bit of shadow work underneath this crashing wave there, and I'm wobbling the brush as I'm going all the way along, all the way along, all the way along, till we get to almost nothing. And there we go. Let's put some under here as well, even though you probably can't see it as it gets down into the dark parts. When we start to blend, we will be able to. So a little bit of magenta, just squidge it in, push it about over the masking tape. There, like so. Now, I'm going to wash this brush, odorless paint thinner. There we go. Clean towel. Okay, dry it off, and I'm using this one because it's nice and small, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to tease and I'm going to blend the shadow into the light and the light into the shadow all the way along. Just tease, tease, tease. Easy peasy, yeah? Let's grab the palette knife. Let's grab the palette knife and a bit of white paint. Okay, a little roll of paint right on the edge of the knife. And let's cut in a nice little water line. So I'm going to start off here. Okay, go over the masking tape. And we're going to come down here. Now keep your knife, the flat part of your blade, parallel to the base of the canvas. Okay, there, like so. Okay, wipe that off. Grab a fan brush. Any fan brush will do. This one will do. It's clean. Okay, and then we're going to pull that straight back. Okay, and as we come to the end of the stroke, maybe a little bit of an up curve. There, like that. Because it's yellow, it'll look like maybe a little bit of a beach on there. I don't know why I'm painting over the masking tape, but it's good practice, isn't it? It's good practice. Okay, let's work on, do we want a beach or something on here? I don't know. So whatever paint we've got left, we'll just cover that part up. But again, don't kill this dark line there that you've put in. Like that. Let's grab a little bit more of that titanium white straight under the lightning bolt. We'll just have that coming down and feather it out a little bit and pull it straight down like so. Knock off any of the excess and then just gently go across the whole thing. And then we've got what might look like wet sand, and we don't want to be on wet sand, do we? Really? Not unless we're like sinking. Anyway, there we go. Just drag it backwards and forwards. There. Yeah, we've got the shallows. All right, a little bit of liner brush work. Now I'm using a little bit of a thinned out oil paint, just with a little bit of linseed oil. But you use any thinning medium that you wish. Okay, just like that. Okay, once we've got that in place, rinse out the brush, easy peasy, and then just very gently again with the blender, and we're just going to set that back into the composition just like so. Just take off any sharp edges. There. It makes the biggest difference, does that. Okay, but be very, very light. Hardly touch the canvas, just stroke it. And as you can see, I'm touching the masking tape first just to gauge and calibrate the strength of the pressure on the brush rather than going straight in there, because you can quite easily just mush it all up. Okay, we don't want to do that. Not after we've done so much hard work on that. Okay, let's build some big bricks, okay, some big rocks. Okay, so palette knife and a little bit of brown. So burnt sienna and Van Dyke brown. Okay. And we need a big stone for this to crash again. So just push it in. Just push it in. Okay. Over the masking tape. Oh, this masking tape's going to be a little bit tricky to get off if we leave it to dry, but we're not going to leave it to dry. We're going to take it off pretty quickly, aren't we? So there we go. So that's one stone just there. Okay, we'll set that into the composition in a minute. Okay, but I want a tree there, so let's just make another one just there. So again, a bit of Van Dyke brown, a bit of burnt sienna. Don't really over mix them. Okay, and I'm going to start off there, and I'm going to go over this. Okay, and it's going to come down there like so, and just fill this in with your dark paint. A little bit of highlight colour, just made from a little bit of white and yellow and stony brown work that we've got going. And just pick out a couple of highlights, just like painting a mountain, I suppose. Just a little bit smaller. Well, it's not smaller. Maybe it's just a bit closer to us. I can't even see where the masking tape is. The paint is that thick now. Okay, just there, and there. Like that. Let's really highlight that spot there. Okay, like that. So, a bit of a sandy stone colour there. And we'll do the same on that side. And a little dark to the stones as well, just to vary the flavour up. And you could leave it at this and pull off the masking tape, but we're going to do something a little bit more crazier than that. Okay, let's grab a little bit of the brown colour. I said I wanted a tree. We've got two elements there. I want a third element round about here. So I'm going to start somewhere up there. And this is just a little bit of brown and a little bit of umber, and it comes down there like that. Okay, that's where this tree trunk is going to be. This big old weathered tree that lives right on the edge of the world. Right, so let's just fill this in. Maybe it goes completely off the canvas. There, that's good. Okay, so again, let's just widen his foot right over the white, into the stone, over the masking tape, and then let's work on some arms, legs, limbs, whatever we call them nowadays. So it's hard to see the tree, but it's there. And I'm going to take a touch of the darker colours now. Which limb lives in front? This one does. Go all the way across. This is a very dark brown. I've mixed a lot of black into this. Okay, down there like so. And we'll do the same on this branch. Okay, and I'm going over the masking tape because we're going to intertwine it, you see, make it really pop out, really make it look special. I'm not too fussed about individual sticks just yet, just the major branches. Right, then get that down there, a bit more dark colour down here, like so. Swill off the brush. Okay, and then let's pick up a little bit of lighter brown colour, so a little bit of titanium white into some of that light brown colour. And I'm just going to start off up here, start off the masking tape so you can gauge yourself, and then just come down there like that. Roll the brush around like that, all the way down. See, one load has almost done the full tree on a 20-inch canvas. Okay, you may want to do it a couple of times till you get your desired likeness. But I just want to show you something quickly before we carry on. Grab a soft brush. This is very soft, and I'm just going to blend. So blend the dark into the light and the light into dark. And I'm going to go down the whole thing until the whole trunk is the desired likeness that I want. So just blend. It's the joy of oil painting, isn't it? Just like that. And we've got the tree trunk in place. Now let's take a Bob Ross oval brush. Let's double load it so one side is in a darker colour than the opposite side. So we've got yellow on there, green on there, and let's just tap on like so and just give us a little bit of foliage. Okay, don't want too much. This tree is in a bit of a hectic lifestyle, living right out here on the extremities of land, but it's still doing all right. Maybe reload the brush every now and again, and obviously the highlights are where the lightning bolt is going to be. Okay, so just put a couple of little bit of greenery, a little bit of shrubberyness up there. Maybe it covers the whole top there, just like so. And then obviously we want a little bit of something green down here where it's sitting on. There'll be a bit of dirt and a little bit of muck and grasses just there like so. So don't go over crazy with that. I think it's about almost there to the moment of truth, but just before I do, just let's set that down for a second. Just take a little bit of that white on the knife and just cut in a waterline around this stone. I want this stone to be slightly in front of that one there like so. Okay, right, let's pull off some of the masking tape and we'll go down there like that. Now this is where we get absolutely covered in paint. Down we come, and we've got ourselves a nice border. Pretty thick paint down here, so we've got to be careful. There, like that. Let's intertwine this tree now. So all I'm going to do is going to take some of this brown colour and just put in a branch there, and that trunk that comes up. Do we want that one going behind? Yes, we do. So we'll have a little bit more paint, and we'll fetch this one maybe there, like so. Oh, maybe. We'll have that coming out there like that. And then just highlight and shadow as we would normally do. Back to the brush with the greens on, and we can start putting a few over into the borders, but don't overdo this. Don't overdo it. So quick to overdo. Yeah, like that, and then maybe a few over there, like that. Not too many. So the whole thing is entwined. Well, it's fun detailing out, just adding a few little swirls of water and reflections and foam and all sorts of stuff on there. But I think we should bring this wave crashing into the border. So just let's get rid of that liner brush and go back to the brush which had a little bit of the white on it and stuff. So we'll just fetch this out just there. Of course, this is very dry canvas, so it'll not blend as well at the moment. So we'll get a bit of paint on there, just a little bit, and tease it into that, mix it together, and then we'll just wipe off the brush, pick up a bit of that purpley colour. Oh, that's just magenta and a bit of phthalo blue, and we'll just scrub that in there. I don't want to go too far that way, and then we can just tease these together so it looks like it's crashing over into the border there, and then just keep working on that until it's perfect. Yeah, just blend the highlights and the shadows together. And how easy was that? That was a super duper easy painting, and I'm sure you guys can do it. If you do it, please share it with us with the community tab. Big shout out to all my members. Subscribe and hit that thumbs up, and until next time, take care of yourself, stay safe, happy days.